And you know what? It is that time where we look at stories that are making headlines around us. In studio is Millicent Odhiambo. She is the Wiper Party Coordinator, Mombasa County. And of course, yes, Mgeni. She's been here before. Millicent, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very, very good.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. I want to look at... let's talk about this headline before we look at what's happening in Nairobi County.
Mm-hmm.
On the Standard newspaper, the headline is Selfish Union.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a picture of our president, William Ruto, and then also ODM leader, Raila Odinga. And on their caption, or rather on the headline, they say, "See, hear, speak no evil." In the name of the broad-based government, President William Ruto and Raila Odinga sealed a pact that blurred the opposition into irrelevance. What was meant to be a counterweight to executive flirt has morphed into an alliance that silences dissent and shields scandal. Raila, once a symbol of accountability, now plays cheerleader to President Ruto's excesses in a deal that smacks of opportunism. Kenyans have been left with a government without restraint. What's your thought on this?
As I was thinking through this meeting today,
Yeah.
the word that came to my mind is similar to what I am seeing the Standard has put up.
Yeah.
What came into my mind was an unholy union. An holy union that is accepting sin to prevail.
Yeah.
Because there is sin in the people who are governing, and that sin must be repented. You know, I'm a preacher, so I see things sometimes in that context. But the unholy union, the unholy alliance is out to ensure that everybody who the people are unhappy with still find their footsteps, their foothold on governance.
Yeah.
So I agree with the Standard. In fact, I love the Standard of late. It's my newspaper to go. Nation newspaper to me has become what I need to wrap my nyama choma, my nyamas with.
Yeah.
But Standard is speaking what we, the people at the ground, wish to be said.
When you say
Loud
unholy,
and clear.
unholy union,
Yes.
what do you mean by that?
Unholy union is a union that is not sanitized. It's a union that is not for good. When something is unholy, it is tainted.
Yes.
When something is unholy, it is evil, meaning that when something is unholy, it is a situation of evil, bad. I don't know what other words I can use, but an unholy union is an unwanted union, a union that is not for good, a union that does not mean well, a union that cannot lead you anywhere. Anything unholy is pariah. Anything unholy, we need to
cleanse it.
Our hands are off it. Because it's against our morals, it's against our values, it's against our beliefs, anything unholy. So this union is against our morals in this country, against the values that this country hold, which we sing of during the national anthem, very, very clear. It's against our very aspirations as a people in this country. So this union is literally against the Kenyans' desire for leadership. That's why, to me, they are an unholy alliance.
Yeah, the broad-based government, one would say the purpose was to bring the country together.
Supposedly.
Has it done that?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
If there's a time that tribalism has hit the roof, it's now. I'm so shocked that after the broad-based government came on board, they already started separating the Kikuyus. And it was like the Kikuyus are the ones who were targeted just because of Gachagua. Yet I keep saying this. When Ruto and Gachagua met, they had their own memorandum between the two of them. And one of the mandate that was given to Gachagua by Ruto is bring me the Kikuyus. So he played his mandate of bringing the Kikuyus on board. And when you bring people on board, you bring them with a reason. You tell them you're joining this because tutapata hii na hii na hii. Gachagua, I believed that Ruto was also speaking to the other people, same language, so the others will also come on board, so that together each person will defend the persons they are representing within that union. And suddenly, what was good at that time for them turned bad now, and it became tribal when Gachagua stepped out, which to me was really being unfair. With Gachagua. Gachagua went there on the basis of 50-50. I'm coming in and I have my people that I'm bringing. What are you giving them? What are you putting on the table? That is politics. That's what people do in politics. What is in it for me? Politics has a lot of selfish interests. Yeah. So turning around and claiming Gachagua is tribal also shocked me. And you realize that from when the broad-based government set off, they started stringing the harp of Kikuyus are bad. You could hear Kaluma, Kikuyu, Mbadi, Kikuyu, until one day Kenyans all had to rise up and start saying, I am Martin Njeri, I am Odhiambo Wachira, I am Sheikh Mudhoni. You know, it just, they had to, it was too much. So this broad-based government really clearly enhanced tribalism in our minds. Yeah. And tribalism is not a small matter. Do you know, in the universities, as we speak, these young people who we say they are not tribal are worse. When you go to the universities, though people who've gone to the universities know that in university elections are based on tribal alliance. So right from the universities, even right as they will inject them into the national grid, they all are coming with tribal outfits. So it is, if this university, the Luo was the president, oh, let's put a Kikuyu, the what? Tribalism is a cancer that will need a person like His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, who is not tribal in himself, because you can only neutralize what you're not. If you are that, then you'll only enhance it. And this broad-based government has separated and divided this country into two.
But Millicent,
my name. If you wish to add Odhiambo. And don't forget Wiper Coordinator Mombasa.
Yes, Wiper Coordinator Mombasa. Yes. Bombs zinashuka.
You have to say her name right.
Yes, Millicent Odhiambo, Wiper Coordinator Mombasa.
Correct.
And nationally
Secretary to the
Women's League, Wiper Patriotic Front.
Perfect.
Nitasema kwamba hata huu kabila uko shredded by the way we vote, which is iko kwa katiba, the 50+1. Somebody has to find a way ya kushinda ili apate hiyo 50+1. That's why uliona Ruto alitafutana na Gachagua and then akaongeza kidogo
na
Mudavadi na Wetangula.
Tribal.
Na kwa mbali tukatajua huyu jamaa wa hapa Kilifi. Kwa mbali sana, mbali sana. Ikaekwa hapa.
Na hiyo jua ni mbali sana kweli.
He doesn't know, but it is very far. Umeelewa? So is it that ni kama ambaye tunaufungia macho, lakini huo ukabila wenyewe, the way we vote, the way we do our campaigns, ukabila uko hapo kwa hiyo.
I'll be very honest with you.
Yes.
You have talked about something that I have never really thought through. And even as you say it, I agree with you. Sounds very right. And that definitely enhances tribalism. Because it is true, whether we want to accept it or not, that we campaign on tribal lines.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to run away from that. And now I realize where the problem is, because the Constitution is our grassroots.
Yes.
It's our foundation. It is what everything should spring forth from. So when the Constitution talks about 50+1, that means, because then it is about counties, and counties are tribal oriented. Ukisema Mombasa unajua ni akina nani, ukienda Homa Bay unajua ni Wajaluo. So if you have to get 50+1 in those counties, definitely then it has to be along tribal lines.
Among the 47, you have to at least gain kuras 24.
counties.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And that needs to be noted for advocacy. Because the constitution is not printed, it's not on stone, it's not grafted on stone. We, the people, need to come up. Remember, the government is for the people, by the people. So we, the people, need to come up with mechanisms to change some of these things that are clear, that are enhancing tribalism. Let me tell you, I hate tribalism. If there's something I hate personally, I grew up in central Kenya. I hate tribalism because it's a cancer. Two vices that I hate in this country that I would go for their jugular veins. These two, tribalism and corruption. Those are the two vices that are destroying this country. And they're the two vices that are being practiced by the current regime.
All right.
The BB government.
Yeah. Now let me take you now to what's happening in Nairobi County.
Yes.
So MCAs had come together. MCAs in Nairobi County had come together, and it's both MCAs from ODM and UDA. And they say they were unhappy with the kind of work that the governor was doing.
Yes.
According to them, they say that there has been they accused Sakaja of stalled projects, delayed bursaries, failure to implement assembly motions, and failing to communicate effectively with the MCAs. So they collected signatures close to 70, right? So there was an impeachment motion. Then later on, we also see a meeting with ODM MCAs together with Raila Odinga, and then Honorable Raila Odinga. And then we also see UDA MCAs together with our president, William Ruto. Yes. If we're looking at this, in your view, are these impeachment efforts primarily rooted in genuine governance failures, or are they influenced by political grievances or power struggle?
Drama, my sister.
Yeah.
This is drama.
Okay.
That was stage. I don't know what stage it was.
Yeah.
Or what scene it was, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3.
Yeah.
But I think scene 1, we saw the Kericho one. That was just drama.
Yeah.
Because for impeachment to pass through, the Article 181 must be adhered to. It's not about collecting signatures. Remember, even as they were collecting signatures, they hadn't quite put their motion in order at all. They had not even presented it. And then they were there already singing about how Sakaja must go. So it was attracting attention, an emotive process that is a waste of Kenyans' emotions and time.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just drama. For impeachment to happen, there has to be proper documentation. Okay. And when you talk about, when you talk of issues, you must ensure that the receipts, the minutes, the timings, the notices are all put in place. If you look at the time frame that the MCAs were talking about impeachment and collecting signatures, they had done no documentation process. There were people who just woke up one time and decided that they want to test who is loyal to. I think this was just about loyalty test by these two unholy alliances. They wanted to know, like they threw into the ring the issue of, Senate and MPs are corrupt, just so as to disturb the waters and find out who is on their side or not. You know, it's politics, and somebody has picked our brains as Kenyans and put it on some kilos and is now pimmering our brains to find out how many kilograms our brains are. We have brains, and leaders ought to know that we read between the lines, and we cannot just continue finding people who think they're going to press and shouting issues that are relevant to the people, but indirectly they have their own ulterior motives. And what do you mean? Touching our wounds. Nairobians are suffering. Nairobians are struggling. To date, if you read, I'm on TikTok a lot, and a lady was explaining how certain places within town, within CBD, around Hilton, please don't walk there in certain times, like in the evening or even in the day, because there are young boys who literally are killing. They are not even just stealing. And that is Nairobi for you. Nairobians are hurting. Nairobians are in pain. Nairobians are struggling. And so when you use an opportunity, you get an opportunity to string in their pain and know that when you mention it, they will walk with you. And you know you have ulterior motives. You should be impeached yourself. In fact, personally, I asked myself, this impeachment process, I've started reading it much more keenly. Where are we as the citizens in this impeachment process? Is it just about the MCAs deciding we want to impeach? Where am I? Who actually voted for the person? What is my role? I could have given my role to an MCA who has run off the rope and has been bought and is out there for his selfish gains. So as a citizen, where is my voice when it comes to impeachment? And I think that before anybody is impeached, like they do public participation for issues that affect citizens, it affects me when my governor is supposed to be impeached. Come down for public participation. Here, listen to my voice. Let my voice be that which will impeach that government. But not MCAs who can be packed in a hall by their godfathers and they change their mind in the twinkle of an eye. Because tell me, between the time that Alai said Gachagua there is misconduct and he has abused his office, when they narrated all that, and the time they were called to Jomo Kenyatta, Jomo Foundations, Odinga Foundation, those names even just make me feel like I'm going sick in my mind. Odinga Foundation and Sijui what? Between that time frame, what changed?
That's the question we're asking.
What changed?
Like what changed? And what does this even say about now the MCA's role when it comes to oversight? And also because you've said you are supposed to also represent the citizen.
That is what they are supposed to do. Three things: oversight, representation in capital letters. Why? By the people, for the people. But I have given you that position because we cannot all be leaders to represent me. And when you listen to the social media, I've been following it. Most Nairobians were so excited about Sakaja's impeachment. In fact, they were dancing and they were so happy. They are saying garbage is overflowing. I was in Nairobi for 2 weeks. Nairobi is a mess. Nairobi is a total mess. A complete mess with corruption. There's a lady whose kiosk was closed because she has employed too many boys. I mean, what is Nairobi telling us? That if I give employment to young people, I have overemployed, you close my business. That is Nairobi for you. Corruption, and the city councillors carries are just there to collect money. I saw it with my own two eyes, and harassing people on the streets. Morasia with his PR walking up and down. Good work, but PR. Nairobi is a mess. Total mess.
Now,
and to date, Nairobians have spoken. I'm only wondering, what next step should they do?
Yes, actually on that, Millicent, because if the MCAs came together and they have their grievances and they noticed that and they came together, these are from ODM and UDA, right? And so then we're seeing a U-turn.
And now you understand why I call them an unholy alliance.
Yes, what then now is the role of the citizen in all this?
That is it. That's what I asked myself. What is the role of the citizen? To impeach and to remove the MCAs have been made not easy, by the way. It is not easy.
You can't recall.
It is very difficult to recall. In fact, there is a bill that was going to Parliament, and I don't know whether the MCAs read it. That bill was going to make it very easy to remove MCAs. It was going to make it very easy. It is so difficult to remove this sitting leaders. That is why we resort to streets, shouting and burying them in coffins and claiming they are dead, because it is difficult to systematically get them out. To date, as citizens, the Constitution gives us power, but the executive and the processes have weakened our power. The Parliament is the one who gave life to the constitution. You know, the parliament is the one that puts together laws that then make the constitution become alive. And the parliament, because it is about them, they had to make it as difficult as possible to remove them from power. And so to date, we are under siege as citizens.
Okay. Now, if kama citizens we are under siege, hiyo siege yenye umesema, hawa wawakilishi wadi, Millicent Odhiambo,
yes,
coordinator,
yes,
Wiper Patriotic Front, tuiweke hivyo, kwamba MCAs si Nairobi peke yake.
Right.
Kericho tumeona.
Yes.
Nakuru kulikuwa na kelele wakati mama hakuwa pale.
Yes.
Some another county
alipokuja wakanyamaza. Wakatulia kabisa.
Umeona. Kilifi hapa same thing. Kelele. Mombasa hapa majority leader ameenda amepata agizo la court, but mwenye ameekwa. You understand those
yes.
things. Does it mean kwamba hawa ma MCA hawana nguvu ya pesa, wanatumia njia za vichochoro kupata nguvu ya pesa?
I've looked at our MCAs, and one word that I had for them were money-centered alliances. All MCAs are just money-centered alliances. There's nothing about the people for the people. And one, MCAs are elected. Actually, they are normally selected by the governors. What governors know is for them to be safe in the office, they must have the county assembly under control. So during elections, because every political party focuses on the governor and allows the governor the advantage of selecting the people he wants to work with. And so that he's safe, he ensures that he handpicks. And you know, a lot of political parties, as long as you have their flag, particularly ODM, you are sure of getting the vote. So even if you're handpicked, even if a dog was picked and put there to be the MCA for Portrees, that dog will be voted in because they have the tag of ODM. And I'm glad this is changing. So the governor then handpicks so that he knows that he is in control of the county assembly. Therefore, I did not campaign. I was handpicked. I was given money to campaign. Where do I owe my alliance? Very few MCAs come up to that seat because they have come forth from the people. They are not self-made. There are, most of them, a number of them, were actually assisted by the executive, the governors, to get those seats.
So meaning they are accountable to the party.
They are accountable to the party. And that is why when the party leader calls them, they follow. It's not the people.
Yeah.
In all this mix, we don't exist. We don't exist in their mathematics at all. The persons who exist are their party and their party leaders. To date, in ODM, it is Raila who exists. Ukiguza Raila, ukishika Raila, umefaulu. So mimi Millicent, even if I shout and scream, I'll be told, we nyamaza. Baba shasema. Baba shasema, nyamaza.
Na nasema hivyo kwa sababu kuna MCA mmoja Nairobi kule, anaongea sana from Kariobangi. Ni South ama ni whatever, lakini Kariobangi. Alisema wao walikuwa na genuine reasons za kumu-impeach Governor Sakaja. But the moment waliitwa kwenye hiyo kikao, baba amesema.
Yes.
Shida iko. Lakini because baba amesema, hii story sisi tumeachana nayo. Na kuna rumors ya pesa. Then what should we do counter history ya pesa? Because these guys are just being paid 144 before kukatwa, wakikatwa it's 92.
My brother, it's not about the money.
What is
it's
it
never about the money. Greed is greed. Look at this country. The people at the top are rich enough.
True.
You can see them with watches of
5
3 million and shoes of millions of shillings. And normally a greedy person, the more they get, the more the greed expands. And that is why today, if you start living in a one-bedroomed house and you're comfortable in your one-bedroomed house and you get a little money, now you say, I need to live in 3 bedrooms. You get a little money and you think, I'm living in Changamwe, I need to go to Nyali. So it's not about money. the more you get. When we gave the police more money, their salaries were increased. People said increase their salaries. Do you know what happened? The corruption amount increased. Before you
From
could give
50
the
to
police
100.
50, now you have to
100.
give him 500, 1,000.
Yeah.
So he now realized he is now of more value because he's taking home more. So it's not about the money. It's about the greed that we have within our systems, which we electorates have supported. Why? Because for me to vote you, you must give me money. We are greedy. Kenyans are greedy by nature.
Yeah.
You must pay me something for you to get my vote. So therefore, it's about money. And if you do not have money, to them you're not a leader.
Yeah.
It's only
The electorate now.
Yes, the electorate now. You know, our leaders are a reflection of ourselves.
Say it.
Yes.
Hey,
Our leaders are a reflection of who we
I
are.
am not part and parcel
And
of that
Kenyans
question.
are corrupt. Kenyans are corrupt
Eish.
from even their families.
Pole
Say it.
pole.
Utapata-
Kuwa mpole.
Utapata baba anaambia mtoto ukifanya vizuri nitakununulia baiskeli.
Hey.
Kwanza hiyo amemhonga.
Hiyo ni
So
corruption.
we are used to hongering.
Yeah.
Even within our own family units.
Yeah.
Wewe kula chakula ni kupatia ice cream.
Yeah.
It is a corruption, manipulative, corrupt mentality.
Yeah.
And many times even hiyo baiskeli baba atanunua. So isn't that corruption?
Yeah. It is because you're not going to fulfill your end.
Una
No,
manage
the budget.
situation.
Yes. And that is why we have promises that are given and were
But are
never
not
fulfilled.
Oh.
Because it starts
So
from
this is nurtured.
it's nurtured. Kenyans must change, and
Yeah.
that's why we now need to look at people from their character.
Yeah.
We have to look keenly on character as a basis for electing a leader.
Okay. How do then, when we're looking at MCAs who now fear retribution, right? There's the fear of political retribution within their party, within their coalitions. How does this complicate their capacity to hold the governors accountable?
We need politicians
Yeah.
who cannot be bought.
Okay.
We have examples of the Wamushombas. Clear examples. That when they believe in a cause, they stand with it, even when the party says no. We have this. We have the Sifunas. We have the Babu Winos. They have shown us an example that the party cannot hold you captive when it is not in the interest of the people. We need leaders who appreciate that the people who put them in power
Yeah.
and are taxed to keep them in power. We put them in power, then we are taxed further to keep them in power.
Yeah.
Need services,
Yeah.
and they are the priority. So anyone who will balance the desire of the party against the desire of the people is not a leader. Deserves to go home.
Yeah.
ASAP without a twinkle of an eye. My mother used to tell me, nimemtema mate. Kabla ijakauka umekimbia dukani umerudi.
Yeah.
Even as we should temea hawa mheshimiwa mate chini.
Kabla ikauke.
Washatoka.
They're going.
Because they are not serving us
Yeah.
as we expect. The leaders we have are to serve us. Sisi ndio bosses. But today they are serving themselves.
Yeah.
As they sit on us. There's a picture I love. I love it. I think I should start putting it on my
Social media.
on my social media of the fat, big, round people. There is a cardboard, and then very tattered, frail, hungry people together, and they're sitting on them, and they're struggling to keep them up there.
Yeah.
Them, they're barely naked. They are very thin, means they are not even feeding well. And I saw that as Kenya, that people who we put in power to help improve our lives, and they promised us that, are now sitting on us and oppressing and suppressing us for their own personal gain. So any MCA who thinks that his party is priority over the people's desire does not deserve to be in leadership. Does not. And shame on them.
Okay.
Shame on the Nairobi MCAs. Shame on them. If any one of them was my husband, I would even deny him conjugal rights
Hey, hey.
because he does not deserve anything
Yeah, ni
that
kweli.
is good for
That-
himself.
that-
They
that-
have ashamed us, and that is not leadership
Yes,
that we want as a
yeah,
country.
jamani. Okay.
We're speaking to Millicent Odhiambo. She is the Wiper Party coordinator, Mombasa County. And of course, you're looking at what's happening in Nairobi County with an impeachment motion that was set for Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. But right now, we've seen the MCS take a U-turn. Now, Millicent, I want to take you to what the act of the president and then also ODM leader Raila Odinga, right? Within a single day, we saw President Ruto and meet UDA MCAs at State House, and then Raila Odinga meet ODM MCAs at, we said it, his that place. Both were urging that the impeachment motion to be shelved. Now, what message does this send about political influence over devolution?
The executive, of course, has destroyed the institutions and the structures in this country which were purposed to checkmate them.
Yeah.
One. And you realize that from when the president got into government, he started by buying in the independent MPs so that the parliament could be under his control. Then he started off by buying off opposition MPs who had used a lot of their funds during campaigns, so went into government empty-handed, hungry, and with a lot of burdens to fulfill, and used that opportunity to dangle money and get them onto his side. And so today they are under siege. The judiciary has been under siege. Martha Koome, unfortunately, is trying to wrangle herself out of it, but it is too late. She walked the journey too far. Sometimes it's not easy to turn back. So it's all very clear that we have two leaders who are extremely weak morally and for sure are filled with fear. And so they want to ensure that they are in control by controlling the people who have the mandate to speak for the people.
Yeah.
So by muzzling them, what are we seeing? We are seeing extremely weak leaders, full of fear, leaders who know that they do not have an agenda for this country. His Excellency, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, has served this country over years and stood as an opposition leader. And through him, the country got direction in many, many times. And he was able to be the voice of the people. He has muzzled his voice and he has joined together with the oppressor. So therefore, he is now an oppressor, no longer the savior that we saw.
If we're looking
Ruto, even as a leader,
Yeah.
started off as a person who came from a background of the people who have been oppressed. He painted his picture as the poor person who was not brought up within the dynasty process. He is a humble man who has struggled through life. So he understands our pain. He understands our struggles. But little did we know that he was actually a fox in sheepskin. And to date, he has come out clearly for who he is, oppressing us and killing us and destroying us, dismantling us and scattering us for his own personal gain.
I still want to look at that's heavy. I still want to look at how this actually affects devolution, because now the whole purpose was to decentralize power, right?
Yes.
From one person, and also to just not have one person have all this influence across.
True.
Now, with the advent of the county governments, you'd think now would have different governments and they're able to stand on their own. We're seeing an influence of ODM leader, and we're also seeing an influence of the president to Nairobi, in Nairobi County.
Yes.
What does that say about the state being in control of different counties and holding them, like being in control? If you do not do this, then you're not getting this. What do you say about that? Is devolution even...
Devolution is real, but the process of devolution is not real. Why? Because of the party politics. The party politics calls upon the governor of Mombasa to listen to his party leader. Why? Because our elections are not based on what the people need. Our elections are based on keeping power in the hands of a few. So devolution is real, and devolution is the best thing that happened to us. And if you realize, the current regime is even trying to destroy it, because Ruto never accepted devolution. He did not believe in it. He did not. He was one of the persons who campaigned against devolution. So today they're even talking about dismantling the counties and going regional and having one. You've had that story going on. Because they don't believe in devolution in the context that it was enacted in the Constitution. So to date, we have a people who don't believe in the devolution. The devolution is the best thing that happened to this country.
It's just not being implemented.
Unfortunately, we do not have the right people. Actually, corruption, they have literally devolved the wrong things from the national level. If it is corruption, it's been devolved right to the ground. To date, the counties are even worse than the national level when it comes to corruption. The counties do not even remit the NSSS for their workers. They are worse. It is like the county governments are governors' personal properties, vehicles. They do what they want, how they want. And they are, unfortunately, the Senates, most of them, as they campaign, they make sure that a person aligned to them gets to the Senate. So then we'll support them ahead. It's always a mix. And one of the things that I always say is anybody who has been a governor should never vie for the Senate seat. Or somebody who's been a Senate should not vie for the governor's seat. Because these are two people who should have held that county accountable. But that's my thinking.
Okay.
That's my thinking.
Yes.
Devolution is right.
Yes.
But the process is wrong. The people who have held the mantle have not performed.
Okay.
And one of the reasons
Yes.
is because of the party politics. Today, why did Raila call his people? It's ODM.
Yeah.
So ODM party called its members.
Which are many anyway.
Therefore, we must also sanitize the parties.
Oh.
The parties must be sanitized.
Okay.
And clear roles that parties play when it comes to governance must be spelled out.
Now,
because the parties control these counties.
Do you believe because nikiangalia devolution kuanzia 2013 wakati that is Uhuru, right?
Yes.
Mpaka after 2017 governors walikuwa very vocal.
Yes.
Even the chair of the council of governors very vocal.
Yes.
But kuanzia hii 2022 governors are no longer vocal.
Yes.
Do you believe kwamba ili kuwapiga vita council of governors you need to control them by not giving them money because pesa yao karibu niite capitation pesa yao this time from the national government inachelewa unlikely wakati ule wa President Uhuru.
Yes.
Does that mean kuna whatever that means?
Sabotage?
Yes. From within huko kuhakikisha kwamba
we have a control freak at the top, at the helm of this country. A control freak. If you will understand, if you're married, you'll understand what a control freak is and how painful living under a control freak life can be. We have a control freak, and that is why you will be shocked that this man is counties. Kuna counties zingine zinapatanga hata kabla wengine kupata, depending on how aligned are you to the leadership. The challenge we have is the manpower, the hardware, the structures, the constitution, the institutions. We have it right as a country. Other countries have picked our hardware and
it's working.
And they're achieving and they're moving. But for us, the software, the actual people we put in power are our problems. Nothing else. It's the actual people we put in power.
Yeah. And I like that you said it begins with us.
Yes, it begins with us.
It begins with us. Thank you so much, Millicent,
we need to
for
start
making
changing
time.
Our way of doing politics and our way of electing people.
Yeah.
And to look at character. Look at, like in Mombasa, suddenly there is a surge of people coming to vie for leadership. They have never lived in Mombasa. They do not know the pain of Mombasa. They do not know how people go through challenges of floods and of drinking water that has sewage in it. Because Kipevu was pouring water even into the ocean as they go swimming. And no wonder our children today suffer ulcer at very early ages, because the bacteria then finds entry into their systems. Why we have chikungunya, diseases that you never hear in other countries, in other regions. It's only a Mombasa thing because of the environmental issues. People who have never lived in this environment, they've always been out there, suddenly are coming and are saying, unajua mimi nililelewa. You know, and people are actually opening their arms to them and saying, come. Millicent Odhiambo here has lived among you, has gone through those traffic jams, has hit those potholes, has gone through those floody moments throughout time, has gone into Kongowea and found a heap of garbage, has been disgusted with it, has seen thugs killing people, has been also in a position where she is vulnerable, asks for leadership. But you don't think she's worth it because she comes forth from us. But somebody will come. I'm seeing someone from Kisauni, from Likoni. Unajua mimi huku ndio nilizaliwa, huku ndio kwetu what rubbish is that? It's not about where ulizaliwa. It's about, are you a member of that? In fact, election should be such that a leader should be somebody who has lived within that community for a period of time. So that people don't come from abroad and land. Ataka governor. Who are you? And how?
Kuna point hapo.
True.
You
will never identify with the people. You know, let's take, for example, personally, I get leadership today. I have been in Mombasa, lived in Mombasa. All my children, given birth to them, they've become adults, they've gone, my grandchildren here. Nikipiga hapa, hello, nikifika hapa. I know people. People know me. I am part of the community. I understand their pain. They have come to me. Nina njaa, nina nini. I know people feel hungry. Wewe hata hakuna mtu ashakuja kwako wakati ana njaa kagonga ama kakusimamisha. Jamani nimekuja nisaidie. What leader? What people? You don't understand us. You don't feel us. And if you don't feel your people, you can't lead them.
Thank you so much, Millicent. I would speak to you a whole day, man. We would talk to you for 2 hours. It's good to hear from you every single time. A lot of wisdom. We've been speaking to Millicent Odhiambo. She's a Wiper Party coordinator, Mombasa County. And you know what? That brings us to the end of that conversation. When we get back, we're going to look at nutrition, impact.
Can I give a parting shot?
Yes, you will. We'll look at impact of lifestyle and fast foods on kids' health. We're going to have a pediatrician in studio. Yes, Millicent, what's your parting shot?
Thank you very much. My parting shot is, it is time that we changed this country's narrative. And as you hear, I'm from Wiper Party. I honestly will do myself a disservice and my party a disservice if I do not request and beseech and pray that the people of Mombasa will hear me out and choose to stand with His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. Why? Corruption is a vice that we are fighting, and he has proven over time that despite being in government for many, many years, he has never put his hands in the cookie. He's still a humble person who is not extremely rich because he's not greedy for money. 2, he's a humble person who puts the country ahead of him. No wonder he has had to step down for Raila 3 times. Not because he's a weak person, but because he puts the country before Raila and humility goes before him. And we know that it is only a humble person that God can use, because you need wisdom to govern a county, and wisdom can only come from God, and God can only deal with a humble person. So therefore, Kalonzo is on the dock, because that humility will enable God to give him wisdom. Why do I say that? Kibaki was an extremely humble person, to the extent that the wife could drag him to a radio station, to a station, to declare that she's the only wife. What man can put down his ego and be dragged? That was humility at the highest realm. But did he perform? Yes, he changed the economy of this country. Humility is the cornerstone for leadership. Why? Because God is the person who can give wisdom on how to govern a country. Let us give Kalonzo so that he can partner with God in trueness and change this country.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, that wraps it up. Good morning.